Okay, we'll start with the session. So, dear friends, we are discussing regarding the aphorisms, and we have discussed certain important aspects about the different aphorisms, the concept of a vital force, and how this vital force reflects in the state of health, in the state of disease, and how again it comes into the state of during the state of recovery, how it brings back again the health. All those things we have discussed in detail in earlier lectures. The concept, homeopathic concept of disease and its comparison with the allopathic concepts, both we have discussed, and Hahnemann explains clearly over there that the dynamic cause is always a dynamic, and in disease is always internally dynamic, which is which is not perceptible or not visible to naked eye, but you can find it out only with the help of signs and symptoms, and you can judge that person is diseased. And that is the only language with which you have to approach the patients. And then in last lecture we have finished few footnotes regarding that paragraph, and we have learned the 17th aphorism where he explains that instead of wasting time finding it out, giving the names to the diseases or diagnosing, it is always better to find it out a right remedy on the basis of law of similars and give that remedy to the patient. This is what he wants to explain over there. And we have to start with the aphorism number 18. So we'll continue with aphorism 18 and we'll understand what he wants to say with the 18. From this indubitable truth that besides the totality of the symptoms, with consideration of the accompanying modalities, nothing can be nothing can by any means be discovered in diseases wherewith they could express their need of aid. It follows undeniably that the sum of all the symptoms and conditions in each individual case of the disease must be the sole indication and the sole guide to direct us to the choice of remedy. See what he wants to explain. He explains over there that it is the only thing with which you can get a remedy. It is the only thing with which you can understand the person is diseased. That the totality of the symptoms or the expression of the disease in the form of totality of the symptoms. And he gives so much of importance to the modalities, because modality is the thing, or modalities are nothing but factors which modifies the main symptom, chief symptom. So if a symptom which is generally a common symptoms becomes characteristic when it carries location, it carries sensation, it carries modalities, carries concomitants. When it becomes complete, then it goes more in a characteristic way. And modalities always defines many times the remedies. And that's why Hahnemann says over there, so nothing can by any means be discovered in diseases wherewith they could express their need of aid. So symptom is the only way with which you understand that person is expecting a medicine. He is denoting you, yes, give me a medicine. Give me a belladonna, give me a limsipa, give me a aram triphyllum, give me an oxomica. It is only through the language of the disease. Only thing is that you have to perceive that language. You have to understand that language. The way patient narrates is very important for you. The way he looks towards his disease is very important for you. And that aspect we have to develop. Patient will not going to tell you characteristic symptoms by his mouth every time. He will going to tell you the things in his own language. You have to perceive them. And this is so important. It happens many times. The sentences found to be a common. We cannot understand. This fellow is explaining or using certain language, but we are not able to catch what patient wants to explain. And this is what he wants to explain over there, that whatever the patient is expressing is nothing but the language of his inner disease, which has happened at the internal level. You have to treat that by understanding that totality of the symptoms. And that is the only way with which you can understand the patient's
Yeah,
and then you can treat treat that fellow. So It is the only sole indication, must be the sole indication, the sole guide to direct us to the choice of remedy. So it directs us to choice of remedy. Sometimes patient comes and they uses very simple language, simple sentences. They comes, they talks you very politely. Doctor, I'm suffering from these disorders since long time. I have been treated by many people, but still I'm not getting the result. You tell me that how much time it does it requires. Then generally we tell that at least you have to take the treatment of 6 months. He talks, doctor, you take 2 years. I will be there with you. But please cure me. Now everything I am giving to you, it depends upon you. Please bring me out. Patient is talking in a same language, simple manner, and we never understand what patient is denoting, what patient is expressing, what he wants to tell, unless and until we are familiar with it. The he comes to you in that specific state. That state is the patient state. He is in a disease state and he comes to you in that disease state and he is talking to you like this. You should be able to catch what he has denoted, which remedy he is asking for. Anyone, what he is asking for? He is asking for pulsatia because he asks in it in mild tone. He is asking it, you carry me. Carry me. It takes 2 years, it's okay, but you carry me. You have to understand the patient's language, the way patient presents, and that presentation matters a lot. The mild tone of a pulsatilla is there associated with that. His patient is talking politely. Patient is giving you, yes, give me a pulsatilla, because he is telling that carried desires to be carried slowly. So this is what Hahnemann wants to explain, that the way he presents is the language of the disease, and that you have to catch, you have to perceive. And that is the only indication on the basis of which you can reach to the right remedy. So these things we have to develop. So in this aphorism, he wants to explain one thing: characteristic totality with modalities is the sole indication of the choice of the remedy. That is the only thing you can write on your book. Characteristic totality with modalities is the sole indication of the choice of the remedy. Then he turns toward the 19th aphorism. And when you enter into the 19th aphorism, there are 2-3 definitions which he defines, and those are very important. See what he says. Now, as diseases are nothing more than alterations in the state of health of the healthy individual, which expresses themselves by morbid signs. And so you write over there, those who are the students who wants to appear for the exams, this is the definition of the disease. And how he has defined: diseases are nothing more than an alteration in the state of health of the healthy individual, which express themselves by morbid signs at the level of sensations and functions. That is the third line from that aphorism. Second last or third line from the end, where he mentions at the level of sensations and functions, is called as a disease. This is a disease. So diseases are nothing but the alterations in the state of health. If I am healthy, I don't have any symptom. But all of a sudden, my state of health is got altered because of some reason. Something has happened in my life. I got disturbed. At the same time, I catched with certain infection. So I'm expressing my symptoms. For example, I'm having a running nose, I'm having a cough, I'm having a fever, I'm having the severe dryness in the mouth. I feel that I must drink the water. I'm I'm having a thirst for large quantities of water. So all those things, this is the language with which I tell you, yes, I am diseased. This is the language with which I ask for remedy. So at what level does it interprets first? It interprets first at the level of sensations and functions. So functions are altered. I'm not able to concentrate. I'm not able to do my business. I'm not able to perform anything. My functions are altered. I'm explaining that there is severe headache, there is severe throbbing in head. I'm explaining that there is severe heaviness in head. All these are the sensations with which it expresses. So diseases are nothing but the alterations in the state of health of the healthy person, which is reflecting specifically in the form of morbid signs and symptoms at the level of sensations and function. And another thing which he also defines over there, and the cure is also only possible by change of to the healthy condition of the state of health of the deceased individual. It is very evident that medicines could never cure diseases if they did not possess the power of altering man's state of health. See, now again he defines medicines. How he defines medicines? Medicines are the drug substances which has a capacity to alter the man's state of health at the level of sensations and functions. See, though both the definitions he has defined. First, what is disease? At the same time, what are the medicines? So medicines are the drug substances which has a capacity to alter the human state of health at the level of sensations and functions. So diseases are also developed because of some natural morbific stimuli, and they express in the same level. Whenever you utilize your medicine, it also works at the similar manner, and that's why the medicine can cure, because both diseases, natural disease as well as artificial disease, both happens in the dynamic plane. We know only the alterations, we know the visible morbid signs and symptoms, but we don't know where exactly it has produced its effects. We don't know how this dynamic medicine affected at what level. You cannot find it out. The same is true when natural disease has to happen. So if both of them happens to act at the same dynamic plane, then that medicine has a capacity to remove the natural disease. Only thing is that they should be very similar to each other. So nature's law of cure gets applied and you can cure with them. So it is very evident that medicines could never cure diseases if they did not possess the power of altering man's state of health, which depends on sensations and functions. Indeed, that their curative power must be owing solely to this power they possess of the altering man's state of health. So any medicine which you will going to use must have capacity to alter the human state of health when he is healthy. Then and then it has a capacity to cure the disease. So medicinal substances are the drug substances which has a capacity to alter the human state of health when he is healthy, and then that medicine has a capacity to cure similar type of disease when patient present in the patient. So there are two different types of powers medicines possesses. It possesses a disease producing power, at the same time disease curing power. Both are present in the same medicine. It depends how do you use it. When you use it in healthy person, it has a capacity to produce a disease because it alters the state of health. But if you use it on the basis of law of similars and use the same medicine, it has a capacity to cure that disease. So medicine possesses two types of powers: disease producing power as well as disease curing power. And that's what he explains in the next two aphorisms. Is it okay? Are you getting the thoughts of Hahnemann properly? So he is very clear with the concept and he is explaining all those in a very simple, lucid language. What exactly he wants to tell about what are the diseases and what are the medicines. Okay. So what he says further in 20th. So here on 19 aphorism, you write over there the two definitions, the definition of disease as well as definition of medicines. These are two important definitions. And then he turns toward the 20th. This spirit-like power to alter the man's state of health, which lies hidden in the inner nature of medicines, can, in itself, never be discovered by us by mere effort of reason. It is only by experience of the phenomena it displays when acting on the state of health of the man that we can become clearly cognizant of it. Cognizant म्हणजे माहिती असणं, to know the things. So what he is saying, unless and until you prove any medicinal substance on the healthy human beings, you don't know what capacity of producing the disease it has. It is not by just a thought, it is not by conjecture, it is not by a speculation, but it happens only when you prove it on healthy human beings. So this is very, very important. We have to understand exactly all those things. So any medicine, you should not label it medicine unless it is proved on healthy human being. Even though you know that that drug substance has a capacity to alter human state of health. So allium cepa becomes a medicine when it has been proved on healthy human being. You know it that it has a capacity to alter human state of health because even in crude form, it alters your state of health. And then you have proved it. And after that, you have used it as a remedy. So we understand the capacity of the drug substance only by proving them on healthy human beings. Finding it out what symptomatology does it produces, and we used to write it down there. Hahnemann was the first person who started this presentation, this method of proving the drug on healthy human beings. Before that, they used to prove it on animals. But this is very important thing which he tried to explain over there, and that is the only way with which we understand each and every subjective as well as objective symptoms of the disease from the patient. Okay, now 21, and in 21 the same thing he has mentioned. Just we'll go through that. Now, as it is undeniable that the curative principle in medicines is not in itself perceptible, and as in pure experiments with medicines conducted by most accurate observers, nothing can be observed that can constitute them medicines or remedies except that power of causing distinct alteration in the state of health of the human body, and particularly in that of the healthy individual, and of exciting in him various definite morbid symptoms. So it follows that when medicines acts as a remedy, they can only bring their curative property into the play by means of this, their power of altering man's state of health by production of peculiar symptoms, and that therefore we have only to rely on morbid phenomena which the medicines produce in the healthy body as the sole possible revelation of their indwelling curative power, in order to learn that disease producing power and at the same time what is called as disease curing power each individual medicine possesses. So this is what just now I have told you. Medicine is useful only when you know its effects on healthy human being. Hahnemann started this drug proving on healthy human being, and because of which we recognize the capacity of that medicine, what it used to produce. So he started with the first experiment he has done with the cinchona bar because of reading it while translating the book, and then he has proved it on himself only. And some thoda lecture. So he has proved it on himself, found it truth that it has produced signs and symptoms over there. Very clear cut indication. Then he has proved it on many of their friends. And that has been, then it founds, yes, this is what is the totality with which it has came out. Then he started that method using with different medicines. And that when he started proving them on different individuals with different medicinal agents because he was the botanist knowing the many medicinal plants. And he has nearly about throughout his life, he has proved 99 drugs. He has written what it produces, and to which he labeled by name that this is called as disease producing power in the medicine, which is invisible, which you cannot locate, which you cannot see with visible eyes. You can recognize it only when you prove it on healthy human beings. And same disease producing power you can utilize as a disease curing power only on the basis of law of similar. So if the patient is suffering from typical features, patient comes to you with severe coryza, with a lot of irritation, the there is a watering coryza, lot of sneezing, it is dropping from the tip of the nose, and it is getting aggravated in the month of August. It is aggravated whenever he is inside the room. It is better when he is in open air, and it is associated with lot of lacrimation also. But coryza is so acrid that it corrodes the nose, it corrodes the upper lips, and the patient comes to you. So these are the features of the patients which you can visualize in your remedy. They are already present, which in your remedy, and you can match that. That's so simple. These symptoms are produced by LMC when proved on a healthy human being. And similar type of patient comes to you. Then you use this disease producing property in that individual as a disease curing property. You give LMC to the patient and you find the result. It is so instantaneous. Patient feels better immediately. If the simillimum is very perfect, he feels better immediately. And this is what he wants to explain over there, that every medicine carries the disease producing properties, but which are visible only when it is proved on healthy human being. You cannot locate it in any material form. And when you apply it on the basis of law of similars, then and then you can find same medicine becomes has a disease curing property. So in short, you can write down over that aphorism. The morbid symptoms produced by medicines, just write down on your aphorism, the morbid symptoms produced by medicines in healthy individuals are the only thing to understand their disease producing and disease curing power. The morbid symptoms produced by medicines in the healthy individual are the only things to understand their disease producing and disease curing powers. So every medicine carries both the powers. In fact, they are one and same, but how do you utilize them? Accordingly, you can label them. If you are using it for the purpose of proving, it is called as disease producing power. If you are use it on the basis of law of similars, it becomes a disease curing power. So that's one more thing which we have discussed. Uh, Next aphorism, big aphorism. We'll keep it for tomorrow because that here now he starts explaining and comparing the things with the other pathies. Now he starts explaining about exactly what are the different ways of treating the patients. And he explains three basic ways of treating the patient. One is antipathy, one is allopathy, and another is homeopathy in those further aphorisms. And which is the only pathy with which you can achieve the cure. Why? Every reason he explains over there. So that is a big aphorism. We'll keep that as it is for tomorrow's session. I think there are no footnotes to this paragraph. So we'll have just a chat questions. Yesterday there was some question which I was not able to answer. Yes. Who has asked the question? There was one. Hmm? I think Rutuja, she has asked. Rutuja, are you there? No, no. Any other queries with anyone you can ask so that we can discuss. Any queries, any questions regarding the patients, regarding the aphorism, regarding the homeopathy, but it should be related with homeopathy. No queries?
Hello, sir.
Huh?
One query, sir.
Yes, sure.
Sir, nowadays we are getting some patients like sneezing and all after vaccination. Most of the patients are getting. Sir? So anything which homeopathic medicine I have to give?
This is the common problem in pediatrics, because right from the day one after the birth, these people starts giving the vaccines. The child born with the healthy state, and we disturb the state, the harmony, by injecting the vaccine, because it is in a very clear harmony. You try to give vaccine and you just stimulate that immune reaction, but that reaction is not a general reaction which you are stimulating. You are giving the vaccine and trying to specifically stimulate a specific reaction. You expect a specific reaction at the cost of general immunity. But what happens, because of which this stimulus, the harmony which was there, which gets disturbed, and when it disturbs, you are producing a disharmony inside the patient. And when such types of disharmonies develops, and they are developed again and again, you just watch carefully. The pediatrics OPDs, they are full with the chronic respiratory problems, asthma, bronchitis, chronic rhinitis, often on recurrent infections, recurrent fever. Why it is so? It is because of the vaccination, and this is the commonest problem today. So it is always better if you get such a thing, and if it has been definitely because of if it is definitely happened because of the vaccine, then you must think about the remedies, that is thuja, silicea, the anti.
Sir, means it happens with my child only, who is AIDS after corona vaccination, sir.
So what has happened?
He was absolutely all right, sir, before. No, nothing was. He was so healthy, and after that, he is getting morning sneezing continuously. Only morning, sir, till 7 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, he will not get. If he gets up early in the morning, he is getting continuous sneezing.
My question is, why you have given the vaccine? that is simple.
It was compulsory, sir, in school.
We have not taken any vaccine. All 4 members, कोणी कुठलेही vaccine घेतलं नाही. We are remained quite healthy.
Nice, sir.
Okay, give him, find it out his constitution, whether it matches with thuja or silicea. If he's too chilly, think of silicea.
I tried with thuja, sir. Thuja 30.
You can find it out the first constitution. What is his constitution? What remedy does he?
Like calcarea carb.
Then you can think of silica more than the thuja, because silica is very close to it, and silica has that capacity, and even silicea has the morning rhinitis, the sneezing which aggravates in the morning. All those things the silica has. So you can give 3 doses of silicea and just wait for a month. Don't disturb with
any. Sir, potency?
30. First only give 30. Don't go for high.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Payal,
गुड इव्हनिंग सर. गुड इव्हनिंग सर, मी चैत्राली बोलते. मला एक क्युरी होती. मी इंटर्न आहे सर HMC अकोल्यामध्ये. माझी एक पेशंट होती, जेव्हा इंटर्नशिप सुरू झाली तेव्हा घेतलं तिला. ती मुस्लिम पेशंट आहे आणि तिला क्रोनिक रुमॅटिझम होतं. तर स्टार्टिंगला तिचा केस घेतला आणि मेडिसिन प्रिस्क्राईब करायचा प्रयत्न केला. तेव्हा आलं आर्सेनिकम. फिजिकल बेसिसवरच दिलं होतं, कारण मेंटल तेवढं कळत नव्हतं. मग आर्सेनिक प्रिस्क्राईब केलं, 30 मध्येच दिलं, पण तिला अजिबात रिलीफ नाही पडला. ती म्हणे की 25% रिलीफ है और अच्छा लग रहा है और अच्छी मेडिसिन दो. तर मग मी काही दिवस आर्सेनिकला कंटिन्यू ठेवलं, पण तिला काही आराम नाही पडला त्याने. मग मला वाटलं मे बी केस टेकिंग कुठेतरी कमी पडत असेल, तर मग मी तिला आणखी जवळपास 3-3.5 महिन्यानंतर पुन्हा रिकेस टेकिंग घेतलं. तरी म्हणे की आराम नाही पडत आहे. मग तिचं पूर्ण केस टेकिंग घेतलं तेव्हा तिला रुमॅटिक कंप्लेंट्स होत्या, सोबत हेडेक होतं आणि मेन म्हणजे पिक्युलियर थिंग म्हणजे ती मेंटल काहीच देत नाही. सगळं चांगलंच आहे असं करत आणि तेव्हा असं आणि बेसिक म्हणजे ती ॲग्रवेशन सांगते, पण ॲम्युलरेशन कोणत्याही गोष्टीचं सांगत नाही. तर मग मी तेव्हा रेपर्टराइज केलं माझ्या परीने, तर सल्फर निघालं. मी तेव्हापासून तिला सल्फर 30 मध्ये दिलं आणि ती मला म्हणे 75% रिलीफ आहे. सोबत मी तिला युरिकम, ॲसिडिकम नावाचं मदर टिंचर सुद्धा सुरू ठेवायला सांगितलं होतं. सकाळ-संध्याकाळ. तर त्याने तिला आराम पडला म्हणाली. मग आता मी तिला जवळपास सर 4 मंथ झाले तेव्हापासनं आणि आता इंटर्नशिप संपायची वेळ आली. पण तरी ती प्रत्येक म्हणजे सल्फरचा ॲक्शन 30 दिवस चालतो आणि ती प्रत्येक 30 दिवसामध्ये येते आणि म्हणते, "मला आणखी चांगलं मेडिसिन द्या किंवा पुन्हा म्हणजे जुनं मेडिसिन रिपीट करून सांगा." म्हणजे मला समजत नाही की आता मी तिच्यासोबत करू काय पुढे?
पहिली गोष्ट, सल्फर जर वर्क करत असेल तर सल्फर तू हायपोटेन्सी दिलं का?
सर मी 200च
सल्फर 30, 200, 1 m, 10 m, 50 mcm ग्रॅज्युअली वरती जायचं महिना 1.5 महिन्यानी. If it is
सर
working and if it is the state is same, you can go for the high. Only
सर
thing
आय
is
एम
that don't repeat.
दोन ट्रिप
म्हणजे
सर
दोन
आय एम
असे
नॉट
3 डोस द्यायचे किंवा मग पुढे रिपीट महिनाभर द्यायचं नाही.
सर मी असंच करते 200चा डोस देते, एकच डोस देते आणि तिला बरं वाटते. ती 25 दिवसापर्यंत काहीच म्हणत नाही. बट लास्टचे 10 दिवसामध्ये वापस पुन्हा तीच कंप्लेंट आहे, "अच्छा लग रहा पर यही मेडिसिन रिपीट कर दो." तर
मग
मला असं आय डोंट हॅव दॅट मॅच्युरिटी. मला
1
म्हणजे
m दे
समजत
ना,
नाही की मी
घाबरू
त्याला
नको. 1 m दे
1
न
एम
घाबरता. मी आहे तुझ्या पाठीशी. नको काही करू. तू
ओके
1
सर.
m दे, 1 m दे and let us see what happens. 1 m
सर
दिल्यानंतर
किती रिपीट करू?
नाही, एकच डोस दे, 1 किंवा 2 डोस दे, म्हणजे त्याच्यानंतर रिपीट नाही करायचं.
ओके सर. ओके. थँक यू सर.
सर सर पेशेंट है यूएस में, उसको आपने फास्फोरस प्रिस्क्राइब किया था, शी 62 और उनके स्किन के बहुत इश्यूज थे ना, कट्स लग रहे थे और तमाम चीजें, शदीद डैंड्रफ. अच्छा, वो 15 मिनट्स वाला हमने उनको डोज दिया था, 3 डोजेज ऑन 15 मिनट्स एंड देन स्टॉप एंड देन सैक्लैक. तो अभी कल उनका मेरे पास मैसेज आया आफ्टर 2 वीक्स के वो बेटर फील कर रही हैं और अब मजीद जो है वो उनकी वो जो सैक्लैक थी वो खत्म हो गई है, तो अब मजीद कंटिन्यू करना है. तो क्या आप कंटिन्यू करूं तो अगेन वो 15 मिनट्स 3
डोस
डोजेस दे के
रिपीट
अगेन
मत कर. इफ ही इज
नहीं करूं?
रिकवरिंग, डोंट रिपीट द डोस.
ओके.
डोंट.
एक चीज उन्होंने कहा कि सर भूख उनकी अभी तक नहीं आई है, जो कि बहुत क्रोनिक मसला है कि उनको भूख नहीं लगती है बचपन से ही.
थोड़ा
तो
वेट
वो
करो.
उसका ठीक है सर.
डोंट इमीडिएटली कुछ चेंज नहीं करो. इफ इट इज वर्किंग, वेट.
ठीक है सर. तो अभी 1 और 2 वीक्स मजीद मैं सैक्लैक ही मतलब कंटिन्यू करूं. राइट सर.
While she has asked one question, sir, which potency should we use in multiple sclerosis and any degenerative pathology? While most important thing that there is no fixed potency. It depends how the patient presents, what the patient presents, so how much, whether there is any immunosuppression, because multiple sclerosis patients, they are always on the steroids, and many times you get a lot of suppression. So if it is so, then it is always better to start with the LM potency in repeated doses. But it varies. I will not answer your questions directly because it depends upon the situation. It is not that it is a fixed potency with which you start. It varies. These things you have to learn by attending the OPDs. It never, these are the topics which you cannot teach. These are the topics which you learn when you sit beside us. Then automatically you understand why sir is giving 10, why sir is going for CM, why he is giving 30, why he is giving 6 now, why he is giving LM. So all those things you have to learn. This is very, very important. Okay. So any other thing? Tomorrow we can discuss because now very less time is there. So thank you very much being there. Tomorrow we'll meet again with the same.
Thank you, sir.